So I'm multitasking here. On the one hand, I want to see if I found a way of being able to record these little audio videos in the trees, even on a breezy day, because it's very breezy here. But I may be protecting the phone from the breeze by putting it in my cap in this tree. But the other thing is, I'm listening to this very old video, 4 years old video, that's talking extremely deep stuff while I'm in a very calm version of psychosis, while chatting to my friend Toby, who had taken his first ever acid tab the day before or something like that, and he rang me up while I was in the depths of study around Lucifer and how do souls become embodied and what is the ancient story. Anyway, at the moment I have just pressed some button here that says summarize the video, I guess. Ask about this video. I'm here to watch. So this is, I don't have ChatGTP or any of these things. These are just now options that are just there on the YouTube. Probably going back any length ago of video. With all these little suggestions. So it took it 5 seconds to do this. That's pretty fucking incredible. Artificial intelligence programming, they frame life as a system of boot programs and coding that influences human reality. They suggest that modern technology such as the internet and AI reflects pre-existing patterns within human subconscious. Yeah, so I'll just click this and see what it does. Don't know what it's just done there. Maybe it's brought me to that part in the video.
For example, Toby, how does this feel? I'd strongly advise you that the thing you need to do is to sit in Wales and write that book.
Yeah, that's my plan.
See more.
I would ask you to ascertain coming to London has been what?
Chasing the high of the delusion, but also getting inspiration, finding myself in it, a bit of a coming of age celebration for the solstice.
Let's just summarise the video thing.
Good experience.
This video is showing up because it was 4 years ago when that phone call came through. $1:36:26. What happens if I press that? Oh, 0. Yeah, right. So these are timestamps.
For it's a process by which the mind hijacks the body's sense of itself. It is experienced as a shifting of awareness away from the being embodied into a realm of pure thought.
So anyway, this is a very random little video that I'm making right now. The conversation serves as a collaborative effort to map the mechanics of their reality, aiming to strip away limiting scripts and emerge as more authentic, heart-centered entities within a complex, often deceptive system. How do printing presses change human awareness? I don't know. The speaker claims that the printing press allowed for the externalization of programs that enabled a specific influence, referred to as the Luciferic, to take over the external world. The video suggests that before the printing press, humans learned more from nature, but the technology provided a mechanism for this influence to propagate its programs more effectively in the last 400 years. That does indeed sound like a familiar concept that I have known for a while.
This whole time.
Lucifer has only gone strong in the last 400 years.
Wow.
With his printing press. It's only when he got a printing press that he could take over the external world with his programs.
Wow.
Before that, we learned more from nature than we did from Lucifer.
This is impossibly deep, huh?
Yeah, it's also kind of simple.
Yeah, that's what makes it deep. You can just go along the lines of it instantly.
It's fast.
It's fast, that's the word.
It's fast and vast.
Fast and vast. Oh, yeah, but I'm getting tired. I think going to Wales is a good idea.
Yeah. So my point in making this little video is a few points. It's a practice in learning to not fear the artificial intelligence. It's a practice in learning to not fear speaking to other humans. It's a practice to not fear being able to express things which are very much taboo. For me personally, it's a practice in overcoming the fear that this kind of pathological self-identity that can see an I being encased in a body such as mine, that there is a difference between my ego self, which is afraid to say things which may not be very acceptable and which might cause me to bring danger upon myself or my family, and other aspects of the I that are more the universal I, which anyone could allow speak through themselves if they could put the personal I to a side. So as a concept, one could say that a human body is like a ballpoint pen. Anyone could hold that pen to write whatever one might want to write. A human body is like a vessel through which any spirit could hold and channel information through, kind of thing. So the idea of speaking in tongues in the Bible is the idea that you can channel information from spirits. The idea of speaking in tongues in the more modern religions, the American charismatic religions, are ideas that you can let spirits who are sanctified by Christ and the church as being safe to let through you. The idea of demonic possession by entities, poltergeists, etc., are ideas that spirits can enter into a body and act through that body, including to vocalize what the spirit wants to have said. The story of John Dee back in the late 1500s, a story of John Dee working with other people to be able to channel spirits, from which we get Enochian magic, from which the whole British Empire is based, is the idea that you can channel spirits, and those spirits can send information from outside of time into a point in time, so that retrospectively the future can send information to the present, which is our past, from the future's point of view, in order to create the circumstances by which that version of the future gets to happen. Yeah. So in that sense, I could invite Lucifer to cohabit my sense of presence within my biological framework as much as I could invite Christ, Jesus, to be present with me in my present moment, in my biological sense of self. As much as I could invite God to be in communication with me, as much as I could invite the Holy Spirit. Or if I was in India or I believed in gurus, I could allow the guru presence to be present with me to guide my thoughts and feelings and healings. Or one can go to a soul reader, a clairvoyant, and a clairvoyant can contact one's own soul in order to pass messages on from one's own soul to the personality self, so that the personality self might realize I'm really fucking my life up here, and maybe I should be more aware of some things that my soul would like to guide me towards being more centered with. So when anyone says I, there are many I's within the individual who thinks of itself as a singularity, even though it's blatantly obvious that we're not singularities, because we literally call ourselves individuals and call each other individuals, and we literally have two eyes, and these two eyes are linked to two different halves of the brain and are seeing two different versions of reality, and the two different parts of the brain, one is the feeling self and one is the thinking self. And given that the thinking mental self is often criticizing the feeling self, you can see that that is two distinct beings having continual conversations going on. And the front of the mind self and the back of the mind self are blatantly two different aspects of self, two different identities. One is continually looking forward, the other is continually looking backwards. And quintessentially, quint meaning five, essentially meaning the essence of, quintessentially there is a fifth I, potentially, who could be the soul self, who's actually able to integrate the quandary of those four different aspects of self, being the superconscious, unconscious, subconscious and conscious self, and then the quintessential self being a fifth elemental kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there yet again. Given that I'd probably put this up on Facebook and YouTube, because I am beginning to practice to overcome these fears of being more well known, which has been an uncomfortable feeling for me, to have to respond to people who are triggered by things that I can communicate. And so they're responding to me, I'm responding to them, and it ends up taking quite a lot of time to deal with all the responses. And also the fear that there are, people who will not understand the intricacies of things that I've experienced that I may communicate. And if one says something, it's as if, the one thing that's been said there is the absolute truth, and this person will stand by it, or I would stand by it. And therefore my truth might be different to other people's truths, and a lot of triggered people can't help but attack the person who says something different to what they believe. And I certainly got tired of dealing with other people's attacks against me, kind of stuff. So I have, in many ways, made a lot of videos in the past that were really very difficult to listen to. And I kind of did that on purpose. That if anyone really did want to tune into the kind of stuff I'm talking about, then they'd have to really put up with some really bad production. They'd really want to have to try to figure it out for themselves, instead of merely being handed stuff on a plate and eating it and then complaining that it wasn't good enough or whatever kind of stuff. So I am beginning to make videos that are going to be more easily digested, and I am beginning to wish to, find the others kind of thing. Let the others find me is more of a way of saying it. That I am less resistant against the idea of an online community of communication between individuals who are interested in figuring themselves out and are interested in seeing the world not merely as a place to be scared, not merely a place to make out that there is a sacred out there that we can never be sacred in ourselves. I just using sacred and scared because they're the same letters. Just like silent and listen are the same letters. Just like earth and heart are the same letters. Just like time and emit are the same letters. But anyway, I am preparing to open an online space. Possibly even use AI to create the code to make an app for our phones, so that we could make something that isn't Facebook, that isn't littered with ads and influencers. Something that would be a safe space to actually chat about these kind of things. Not just a safe space, but a more functional space than YouTube, or any of the giant platforms that are essentially, as far as I'm concerned, just military listening devices. Okay, you can do some good things with the dual purpose of the military listening devices, but the track and traceability of using, DARPA's front of shop platforms like X or Facebook or Meta or Instagram or WhatsApp or name any of the others, Blue Sky, all these other fucking Telegram, whatever. But for the moment, I think what I am going to do over these next number of weeks is take some time to actually figure out this Patreon thing, to actually go and spend some time on it on James True's page, because that one, at least, I think you can sign up for just $1 a month or something. And also, I believe James may well communicate with me about how's it going, how's it working. Because while I've just steered clear of all of these things, while I've been terribly judgmental of there being paywalls and inner circles and all of that online community stuff, it is actually possible to have an online community that is not just ripping people off to make a fortune or whatever. I'm very resistant against having ads on the videos. I don't want to monetize stuff in a way where there's ads on it. But I am going to have to figure out a way of monetizing stuff where people can donate money if they want to learn. Not that I'm charging fucking $666 for a weekend course or any of that stuff that people do. But just that people can chuck money in the hat. Like busking out in the street. Or whatever it may be. So that I can begin to function in society again. For I am beginning to be willing to function in society again, to be willing to upgrade my reality, to be willing to be able to afford stuff that my kids would like to do, It was a 4 or 5 day outdoor adventure type of thing, not so far away from here. But again, like going to Glasgow a few weeks ago, it's actually going to end up costing pretty much £1,000 just to go away for 5 days, 2 adults and the kids, kind of thing. It's incredible how much things cost these days in terms of the scary numbers. But if you're aware of what inflation is, when the governments around the world have been printing so much money for inflation to bail themselves out, to create more money as a promise to pay back in the future kind of shite. And when they did that 2 years ago, in the last 2 years, the value of money has gone down by 1/3. That's just in the last 2 years. If you go back to 2020 and all that money was created for furloughing people and all of that stuff, as far as I'm aware, money now is only worth half of what it was worth 6 years ago, kind of stuff. So it wouldn't seem so crazy if it was like 500 quid for 5 people to go away for 5 days. Yeah, okay, to something that is putting on loads of activities and stuff for the kids, loads of water stuff and archery stuff and physical world actual stuff on some big estate where lots of people are being employed to make it all safe, and there's camping and all that involved. But anyway, I am going to have to learn how to fucking raise money in a way that is, to me, ethical, but not involving physical manual labour that is just breaking my body, kind of thing. So here are my experiments in it, and here I am holding my fist going, I'm not quite sure how to do this, but I have decided I'm going to figure out how to do it, not just kicking a can down the road. Because there is a vast amount of information that I have that I am willing to put out and about if I get my act together. And for a long time I didn't feel like I could get my act together. And I'm starting to finally feel that I can. Anyway, bye.